888-878-0077 or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
Chilton Mobile Home Parts and Supply is your go-to destination for top quality mobile home parts and supplies in Clanton, Alabama. Conveniently located at 14023 County Road 29, just 3 miles east of Thorsby. We offer a diverse inventory, including underpinning, doors, windows, faucets, tubs, setup supplies, and more. Our commitment to quality ensures you'll find the best solutions for your mobile home needs. Upgrade your space with stylish doors and windows. Enhance functionality with top-notch faucets and tubs. All conveniently available in one place. Visit us today or call 205-646-1949. Transform your mobile home with Chilton, where quality meets convenience. Need reliable towing or diesel repair? MEMS Wrecker and Heavy Duty Diesel Repair has you covered. We specialize in light and heavy duty towing and recovery with the latest equipment for any job, from campers and tractor trailers.
Good morning, it is 6:49, 11 minutes away from 7 o'clock. Morning Mayhem here on Piper Peach Radio. We appreciate you watching and listening. We might be having a little technical difficulties here and there with our streaming, but we'll get it all worked out for you.
We don't know what you're watching or listening, but we're trying.
We're trying really hard.
We think we're here.
Yeah.
It's all this foreign equipment we've got.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Well,
I think most of the stuff we're talking to was probably made in China.
Probably.
Nowadays,
so.
you know, it's
I'd be willing to bet you were right.
some of the best microphones, well, for decades, the finest microphones in the world came out of America or Germany. And the German ones were the capsule mics that were really expensive. I mean, like, you can still buy a German microphone now that'll cost you, I don't know, $8,000 for a microphone. And then the American microphones were much cheaper, and they were considered RCA made them. And the RCA microphones from the 20s until the 90s was the standard. And now, man, you got them coming from Lithuania, and which some of them are really good, and they're cheap. I mean, there's a company called Blue that make all these microphones that are cheap, and that stands for Baltic Universal Latvia something. I don't know, electronics. And it's a Latvian company, I think, in the Baltic, and they make phenomenal microphones, half the price of their competitors.
Yeah.
But now China, I saw a couple of microphones that looked phenomenal. You know, I love microphones because I have a studio and stuff. So they were like $35.
Oh, wow.
So I said, and they look great. So they look like this kind of, you know, this size, and look kind of like that.
This is kind of like an old style here.
Yeah. I bought 2 of them, $50. I figured, let me see what 2 microphones. And they came, 2 things. One, they were this big. In the picture, they looked full size. When they came, they looked like the picture, but they were that big. They were tiny, 3 inches instead of 8 or 10. You know, that big around. They look like little miniature microphones. So I plugged, and they were real shiny and pretty, painted. I mean, they look great, but they look like miniatures, like you'd use in a animated cartoon or a model. And then I plugged them in and talked into it, played it back, and it was like, I said, like, test 1, 2, 3, and this is what it sounded like.
Perfect.
I went, okay, there's my $50 wasted. But the only thing I've used them for is when I had a little setup for video, I just had them behind me on a shelf for looks.
Bookends.
They could have been solid plastic and not functional because they were non-functional.
I was going to say.
So be careful about buying these cheap. If you're like playing around with microphones, some of the cheap ones from China are worthless.
That's awful.
It was disappointing, but they did make nice decoration. You know, and for $50, I had 2 really neat looking. I've still got them around. When I moved, I lost them because I packed them up.
And they were so small.
I've still got them, but they're for looks.
Yeah.
I may bring them down here one day. start putting microphones around them.
Look at the radio. Me.
Oh, me. Well, Alabama is suffering a teacher shortage.
Are we?
We are, which I don't think is any big surprise.
No, it's not. Unfortunately,
No.
Teachers don't get paid enough.
Yeah.
They really don't.
I don't think so either. And it says that it continues to grow as of the 2025-2026 school year. 3,400 positions were left unfilled.
Wow.
Yes. And so from
That's
the
a
latest,
lot.
I know, it really is. From the latest state report, it says the early elementary education saw the biggest shortage with 751 vacancies.
Is that like the young, like the preschool and
Yeah.
that sort of stuff?
Well, it doesn't include preschool. I think it's kindergarten through like third grade.
Oh, I got you.
But then following that was early childhood education. So that I think is preschool.
That's preschool,
And
yeah.
it's 356 vacancies. So special education also remained a challenge statewide.
You know, teachers have always really been, I think, underappreciated. But you think of the power they have, especially nowadays. You've got a lot of kids that don't get any decent life at home.
Yeah.
You know, they one-parent households. Some of them, the parents are doing their best, but they are one parent. They've got one or more kids, and they've got to work all the time and keep the house. They're single parents. They're just worn out.
Yeah.
Then you got some that are just worthless as parents. They just don't, they're living a lifestyle that they shouldn't be parents. And so these kids are growing up sometimes on their own, being cared for by grandmothers or extended family or other little kids, that their brothers and sisters. They don't have any support at home. So school becomes their major support in life, not just for education, for food. They don't get breakfast at home. A lot of them, they have to come to school to eat. They certainly don't get any direction, discipline, or anything like that.
Yeah.
And these poor teachers, you got a woman or a man teaching a class of 28 to 35 kids. I've heard some of these classrooms now are huge because they've only got so many teachers and so many kids.
Yeah.
And they're working their butts off. And every teacher I know or have known for years spent their own money in a fairly heavy amount just to have stuff in the classroom that they felt they needed for their kids.
Yeah.
They're dishing it out to bring in special supplies and stuff. You've got these kids that come from disadvantaged households. Now, the kids that come from households that can afford it, you can give them that list at the beginning of the school year to bring hand sanitizer and this and crayons
Paper
and
towels.
whatever.
It's amazing
Yeah.
what comes on
It
the
can run
list.
up to hundreds of dollars
Oh,
for
it
each
definitely
kid.
at least
yeah.
100 to start with.
So then you got these other families that can't afford any of it. And they the ones that have to get the free backpacks that have some of it or maybe not all of it, whatever. And then you got that inequity in the classroom, and the teachers sometimes pony up for the differences. So I'm telling you, teachers not only have that much more responsibility in a lot of ways with these kids now, they also have always had the responsibility of creating a role model to foster good citizens, good human beings, people with manners.
Manners, right?
People who have respect, people who get they really have always been kind of the structure which we build our young kids' lives around to model.
Yeah.
And they don't get paid enough. We don't appreciate them enough. You got some of these. This is what I hear online. So I'm too old to be active like even 2 generations. But now they say that the teachers I hear talk to complain that now if they have a problem with the child, the parent comes flying down there, and it's always the teacher's fault, that the parent will defend their ne'er-do-well. Their child may have acted up badly, but they're going to defend the child. And I did see a report that says the last few years, a big problem is all year long, you don't hear or see from a parent, right? The parents send home notes. The parents ask for teacher comment. They may be having trouble with a child. They may be having trouble with a child not doing their homework or not passing their grades. And it gets near the end of the year. The parent finally hears at the end of the year, your child is not going to be promoted. Your child is not going to graduate. Mm-hmm. And they come flying down there a week before school is out, trying to bully and negotiate their child being graduated or passed. And where were they for the other 8 months leading up to that? And these poor teachers are there defending, I mean, it's tough. And I think people forget. Now, I don't know what the answer is. I guess I always thought we probably do need to support, especially in Alabama. Now, Alabama does have one of the nation's best preschool programs now in the nation. Did you see that?
I did see that.
That's great because my whole life, and I'm 73, we were always 49th or 50th when it came to education and everything. And what was our saying? Thank God for Mississippi. Thank God for Mississippi, because they were usually 50th and we were 49th.
Yeah.
That's right. At least we
Terrible.
weren't the last. Well, that story though says there's shortages though in those preschool
and then
classes or grades or whatever we call that.
I don't know what that tells. I guess what that tells you is, one, the job may be too difficult for a lot of people to want to go into. Two, it doesn't maybe not pay well enough or support them well enough. Mm-hmm. Or three, we're not teaching young people who want to be teachers how to be teachers in the way so that it looks appealing or that they go into it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if the problem is the young people that we would love to see become teachers, or if it's just we don't do well enough to get them to want to be teachers.
Well, how about this, Bill? What if we could put a stop to all of the Medicare and other types of fraud, Social Security fraud, and save all those hundreds of millions of dollars that we could then reinvest into our schools, our teachers, perhaps make the job more attractive to people? Brian just wrote us and said that law enforcement is a very similar situation.
Yeah, they're having trouble finding policemen.
Exactly.
But that is a whole different problem, because actually policemen's pay isn't that bad.
It's not the pay I'm talking about. I was thinking of the responsibilities you were describing the teachers have.
Right.
Well, if you've watched any of these videos of these policemen pulling over people and the way they act,
it's scary, isn't
it? How do they deal with that on a daily basis?
Nobody has respect anymore.
No, they don't.
Well, and that's really the same problem in school.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
I think they are related. That part is related.
A teacher now has to be a defense attorney and a martial artist, I guess. I don't know, because they can't. Yeah, I mean, they're always the bad guy in a lot of cases. But I think it's a shame, because our teachers can be such a powerful influence on a child. I know I had a few in my life that were just amazingly supportive and excited me about learning and excited me about the subject. And then I had some teachers that, I had one teacher, a science teacher, that I never saw for a whole year sober.
Oh, gosh.
In class.
That's awful.
She, poor thing, had an alcoholic problem, and nobody stepped up to the plate to help her or discipline her. I mean,
exactly.
She was drunk in class every day.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, it does say that the shortage increased about 23% from the previous school year. So that is from
in 1 year.
From the 24-25 school year up to the 25-26 school year. So rising staffing concerns across the state are a big concern.
Well, I'd love to, like you said, if we could figure out ways to get rid of all the fraud and then turn that savings into the thing. But how do you get rid of the fraud? That's the problem.
Well, we have to investigate it.
Yeah.
And, of course, I hate to say it, us against them. We're the taxpayers. The people who are committing the fraud, most of them, don't pay taxes.
No, they don't.
All this money.
They're living off the government.
And so, if you could take that, I mean,
listen, if you're
look at what happened in, was it Michigan? Where did this guy go? This Nick, whatever his name was, He was going around and he was looking and check. I think it was Michigan. The Somalis, aren't they? And that where the
The
he
was looking at all the day schools of the schools that were
right,
fake.
exactly.
Yeah, they were defrauding.
Just right there in that one area around Detroit and Ann Arbor. That's all about an hour away from each other. Hundreds of millions of dollars in fraud.
Yeah.
So just, I mean, I shudder to think what it is nationwide.
Yeah.
And we don't do enough about that. And what do? We're just like cattle. We just send them the money.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Take
we
it
don't.
right out
The
of my
government
paycheck.
does.
I never see it.
We don't send the money.
Well, you know what I mean.
The government does.
Yeah.
The government makes us pay them, and then
That's what I meant. We send the money to the government.
Yeah,
That's what I meant.
Because these were schools that had no students. You know, they were paying, the government was paying them millions of dollars for their school to help these underprivileged aliens, these Somalians, and there were no schools. If it wasn't for this internet sleuth,
yeah, exactly,
that would have never been uncovered. The government didn't catch it. The local law enforcement didn't. Nobody caught it except this internet sleuth that started checking it out and putting it online. And finally, enough people got upset about it that they had to look into it.
He said he looked at it and he realized, man, there's a lot of daycares right here, all
but
concentrated
you don't see any
area.
children.
No children. He goes in with under the understanding he's trying to get prices. What does it cost? What do you charge for children?
Yeah.
And they won't talk to him because
They
they
wouldn't
know
talk to
they don't have any. They don't do anything.
Yeah.
And you say, look, can I see the facilities, see the children? And they go, no.
Well, I can understand that. You necessarily wouldn't let
not
them
seeing
in.
the facilities.
Yeah.
They can tell them, yeah, come back at 3 when the kids are gone.
Well, yeah, they
3:30.
could,
We'll
but-
show you the class because as a parent, I'd want to see if it was clean and neat and well kept up.
Right.
Sure, you got security reasons with the children, but there were no children.
Well, we blew right through the break, y'all. I don't know if we need to go to one now or just wait.
Oh yeah, we can go to one.
We're waiting for our leader to tell us.
I think he's a little distracted over there.
All right. We're going to go to a break.
Our leader's always disgusted with us anyway.
It's not.
Yeah, I mean,
He's given up on waving the red flag at us. 7:04, Monday, August 10th.
that's not a handgun he's got, is it?
Oh gosh, I
Okay.
hope not. We better get off live real quick.
No, it's just a microphone.
Oh, okay, yeah, cheap one from China.
Stay tuned for the sponsors and our broadcasters and everyone that we're going to hear from on the break. I don't even know. But you don't want to go anywhere because Jake will be in later in the 7 o'clock hour with
the
Associated
Somalis.
Foods. So you're tuned in to Morning Mayhem with Dollar Bill, Mike, and Taylor. We'll be right back.
Looking for the perfect way to unwind, compete, and have fun with friends or family? Then Putter Up Pelham is your next destination. Whether you're a mini golf pro or just out for a good time, Putter Up offers a one-of-a-kind indoor putting experience with custom effects lighting, sounds, and robotics at each hole, plus automated scoring and a virtual caddy to guide your game. And our ADA-compliant courses include special putters for individuals using wheelchairs or walkers, so everyone can join the fun from ages 4 to 100. Rain or shine, day or night, it's always game time at Putter Up. Come for the fun, stay for the challenge. Swing by Putter Up, where every stroke counts. Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you, whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss. Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
There's a pride that comes from employing over 6,000 people in America, welding, fabricating, assembling with local and global parts, delivering a machine just right for you. Japanese engineering meets American ingenuity that builds on our 50-year legacy of quality, reliability, and durability that makes us the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. These aren't just machines. This is a way of life. And that's why Kubota is investing hundreds of millions right here at home. Because we won't settle on what was good enough yesterday. We're innovating with inspiration from the hard-working men and women that proudly sit on our equipment every day. So you can be sure that every one of us have you in mind when a machine or implement comes down that line. We know how hard you work. We'll do the same. This is Kubota.
All
We
right.
are back. It is 7:10, 10 after 7.
We've got to start covering that, y'all.
What's
oh
that?
my goodness.
No, I was just making a joke, Bill, about I was about to go good when you said good morning.
Oh, did I step over you?
No, you did
My
not.
bad.
It's not that.
We
It's just
forget
that-
to tell who's going to
That's
open.
right. That's
So
I know,
I
it's
just, when I'm trained. You hear a dead spot when you come back, somebody jump in,
You
and
feel
I'm
it.
usually right on it.
Exactly.
So I
That's so true.
apologize.
So
no,
true.
you're
But-
good.
I just can't stand dead air.
Before
like
the
that.
break, we were talking about how we could improve our schools and maybe
Right.
our public servants, like our police officers. And I mentioned about the fraud in
Right.
Michigan, and it was Michigan. And then they've discovered it almost as bad in Ohio. So you know, it's bad.
It's
all
everywhere.
over. All over. I mean,
Yeah.
criminals, and that's all they are. They're stealing our money, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to get a handle on that. I mean, I don't want to talk about revolution because I'm not smart enough for any of that, but it just drives me crazy to think that even if that's not my specific contribution to the kitty, so to speak, that's somebody's.
It's
Yeah.
all of us.
And
We
it
all
is
pay.
all of
I mean,
us.
all legal
They're just
people
taking
in
it-
this country pay taxes if they make enough money to pay
And
taxes.
because
Yeah.
there's 200,000 of them, and I am speaking the Somali Americans, if you want to call them that, in Michigan, around Dearborn, Detroit area, and there's a couple 100,000 of them, and they're scared. They're represented as Ilhan Omar, and I know you know who that lady is
yes.
in the United States House of Representatives.
She's a nut.
Oh yeah, she is a nut, and yet she is. I mean, she herself is committing this fraud. There's no doubt about it. You may have heard about her incident. You know, they have to disclose. A
You're
representative or a senator has to disclose their financial, have to file a financial statement every year. Well, hers, she said it was an accounting error that showed that last year, and I want to say 25 or maybe 24, she was worth $30 million. Now, she comes to America with nothing, and then, you know, she's elected as this representative, and suddenly she's a multi-millionaire. Bill, there's where the investigation needs to start.
It does.
It does. And, of course, unfortunately, who's going to be investigating them? More of these, you know, red tape people. But anyway, I digress. But the bottom line is that she can do whatever she wants. Now she says she's worth $90,000.
90,000.
Yeah, and it was just an accounting error. Oh yeah, I guess those 2 commas were, you know, boy, who did you hire for?
Yeah,
Who's your accountant? You know,
You didn't,
I want to stay
either
away
the
from
first
them.
guy was really bad, or the second guy is really good. Because either the first guy really screwed it up, or the second guy's really hiding a lie.
Oh, that's so true. So
oh my
true.
God!
And
I hate crooks like
I
that.
know. But the people that protested. I mean, you're watching Fox. Well, not Fox News, but NBC News, ABC News, CBS. They're all blasting the guy that did the investigating.
Oh my goodness.
It's not what he uncovered because it makes them all look bad. Because you know they're the ones that insisted that these people come into our country. You know, President Obama's the one that let them all in. All these Somalis, the ones that this initial investigation is focused on.
And listen, many of the Somalis are good people. You know, they're just hardworking, good people that needed a better life. Mm-hmm. But a lot of them aren't. And then a lot of, if you have a big group of people come in that are basically 100% dependent on the government for everything they got, including housing,
they're 85% after 10 years.
then you've got so many chances for people to take advantage of that and make fraud out of it.
And another thing that they found, Bill, that they're doing up there is that the government is paying relatives to sit with their elderly relatives. Rather than have them go into a home, they pay a sitter to come sit with their, you know, sick uncle or whatever it is, which I'm sure legitimately there are a few, but they've uncovered so many that are just made up.
Well, see now.
And they're getting thousands of dollars every month to sit with this person.
See, what that shows, Mike, is you and Taylor are missing a great opportunity because you sit with an elderly guy a couple of times a week.
And I even have my CNA license.
You should be charging the government for sitting with me for a couple hours every week.
I know.
I'm sitting with 2 elderly guys right now making $0.
What did she say?
What?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm sitting pondering that too, guys, because I do fit the category. You not so much.
Well, speaking of elderly,
I'm getting there.
Speaking of elderly, I have the best hobby for grandparents and grandchildren to partake in together.
Sweet.
Do you want to guess what it is?
Disc Frisbee?
It is not disc golf.
Disc golf, I meant.
It is baking and cooking.
I like that.
Yes. Mike, I don't think he's allowed in his kitchen at home, so he may be.
I do all the cooking in mine.
I just bought a new stove yesterday.
Did you really? What'd you get?
LG.
Is it like a fancy one?
Yeah,
LG?
it is
Has
fancy.
the convection and all that?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
very
an air fryer built in.
It does.
Is it air fry?
And it also has this thing, what is it called? Was it fronting? What do you do with bread?
Proofing.
Oh, yeah,
Proofing. That's it, Bill.
Bread
I'm
proofing.
impressed.
Bread
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, ours does not have that. Well, ours now, the stove, the actual oven quit working. It's like one of those things where she's like, I smell something. And she had the thing set on like 250 just to warm up something. Mm-hmm. And the thermostat or something went crazy. And it was like 800 degrees.
And you smelled burning stuff.
Yeah, and by that time it was a little too late.
Time to get rid of it.
Gosh.
So you got you a nice LG fancy one.
Yeah.
So does your wife do all the cooking?
She does.
So did you tell her now that she's got this proofing thing, you expect homemade yeast rolls?
Every night is what I said.
Yeah,
I
every
don't know what
night's
I'll
good.
get, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe once a month.
Maybe.
I'm kidding. She feeds all of us. She feeds like 3 or 4 households right now.
I will tell you
Her
one
mother,
thing.
Yeah.
and
If you
my
like
son,
if you
and
like
his,
to bake
and our
and all
granddaughter.
that, if you get a convection oven, you can bake some great stuff.
Yeah.
But the funny part is, Bill, this is like our 5th one. to buy.
Fifth oven?
my
25
goodness.
years.
Oh my God,
in
your
this
wife
house.
does burn them up.
She does. She does burn them up. However, the original one that we bought, we turned our basement into an apartment, and we fixed it up. It's really nice, I think. Our daughter and son-in-law live there now.
Yeah.
But anyway, the original stove is downstairs.
Really?
Still
It's
works.
Still working.
After,
at there.
of course, it went through several years there after when it first the convection part stopped working, and she had to have that.
Yeah.
So we had to get another one, and we have just burned through them. They just don't make them worth a flip anymore.
No. I think they build in
And you can't get them.
obsolescence,
And it's like this board. It sends an error message like a car. The check engine light comes on, but this light comes on. It tells you it's whatever the code was. We look it up, and we estimate what the repairs are. It's like $500.
Right. Buy a new
$600.
oven.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
A brand new one was $900.
Right.
I'm not going to spend
Doesn't make
$600
sense.
on a 6 or 7 year old unit.
That's going to maybe
They're
go
just
another year before
disposable.
something else
Yeah.
goes out.
Exactly, man. It's just disposable. I hate it. I was reading somewhere talking about that. Give me this simple, 3-button stove and the
Yeah, me too.
something that will actually
I have
last.
Yeah.
We bought a dishwasher that talks to me constantly, and it just drives me crazy because I'll go doodle on my phone. I'll go, "Who's texting me?"
Yeah.
Hi, this is your dishwasher. We're going into sanitize mode now.
Yeah.
I don't care. Just
Or-
do
I
it.
don't care.
That was the point of what I was reading about the simple machines was it's like, they don't need any access to my, my Wi-Fi or whatever. No reason.
My dishwasher bought a new TV for itself last week.
Oh, man.
But we
Well,
did. Go ahead. What you were saying? We went off on one of those
the top
tangents
hobby,
again.
the top hobby is baking and cooking, and this is the best hobby for grandparents and grandchildren
It
to do
is.
together. So it says that kids open up easier when they're on the other side of the counter versus watching you cook. And they also end up making more memories, which I think is so true because I remember cooking with my grandmother.
I do too.
Yeah.
My grandmother would teach me how to roll out dough and how to pat biscuits and how to cut, things. And
you still
those
do
are
it
some
today.
Of the best I do.
Yeah.
And it taught me. I was cooking at 10 years of age. I was cooking. I don't mean just like making a sandwich. I was
understand.
baking and cooking because
Yeah.
my grandmother was a phenomenal cook. But it's the memories. I love Mama Lawson. That's my dad's mom. She was so good to me because at that point you're really connecting, and she was kind, but she also, it shows that she trusted me. She would let me roll out something, and she made it. I know I didn't do it right, but she'd make it like, that's perfect. You're doing
Yeah.
so good, and you built confidence in yourself. They may not have been worth a flip, but you didn't know that. You
That's
felt
right.
good about what you were doing, and it connected you with somebody.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that article because that sounds just like our household with Victoria's our 6-year-old granddaughter, and she absolutely knows her way around the kitchen right
Really?
now.
No.
Does your
Because
wife sit
Raynette's
there and
been-
help her a lot and
Absolutely.
talk to her and show her how to do
she's
stuff?
like, those are her scrambled eggs, or those are her whatever she
love it.
made, which is really cool. And
Yeah.
like you said, she gets very confident because of
Yeah.
that, because of that praise that comes
And that'll
with
carry
it.
over in a lot of things in life.
Well, yes, I expect it will.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but it also helps them with math. It helps them with thinking skills.
Right.
Yeah.
And, the sensory part
The
of
sad
it.
thing is, I still have a hard time when they say, a quarter cup of something and something else, and I've got to start doing fractions again. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh God, because if I'm gonna, like double a recipe, I would sometimes just do a quarter cup.
Yeah.
Because I'm too stupid to figure out what 2 quarter cups.
But also for the grandparents, it's not just benefit for the grandkids. For the grandparents, it helps work the brain, work your memory, and keep you up and moving. So if you haven't recently, go cook with your grandkids or your kids if you don't have grandkids.
Or call me in.
Or your
I'd love to sit
grandparents.
there
Yeah,
and
or your
cook with them.
grandparents.
eat what you bake.
Oh,
But
gosh.
with that being said, you've got to buy your groceries from somewhere, and we have the one and only Jake from Associated Foods in to speak with us about what's
Save
going on down
More.
there. That's right, good old Save More. So we're gonna hop to break real quick. When we come back, we're gonna have Jake with us, so you don't want to miss it. You're tuned in to Morning Mayhem on Piper Peach Radio. A Dollar Bill, Taylor, and Mike. We'll be right back.
Looking for the perfect way to unwind, compete, and have fun with friends or family? Then Putter Up Pelham is your next destination. Whether you're a mini golf pro or just out for a good time, Putter Up offers a one-of-a-kind indoor putting experience with custom effects lighting, sounds, and robotics at each hole, plus automated scoring and a virtual caddy to guide your game. And our ADA-compliant courses include special putters for individuals using wheelchairs or walkers, so everyone can join the fun from ages 4 to 100. Rain or shine, day or night, it's always game time at Putter Up. Come for the fun, stay for the challenge. Swing by Putter Up, where every stroke counts. Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you, whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss. Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
Hey, good morning. It is 7:24 or 25, 7:25, 35 minutes away from 8 o'clock. We're glad you're with us. Hope you're having a good Monday. Good chance of rain today. A little fog earlier this morning in some areas, so be careful. And it's going to be another hot, humid day. So we're glad you're with us as we get this week going. And I got to tell you, today I'm going to have to come down and see you, Jake, because it's Monday means it's time to go to the store and get my groceries because I deplete a lot of stuff on the weekend.
Oh, the ads come out on the newspapers, right, on Sunday. Oh, wait, that's the way it was 30 years ago.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
most ads break on Wednesday now. I don't know why. I think a lot of people break their ads on Wednesday.
Okay.
And so that's why. And then we have senior discount day on Thursdays right after the ad breaks to make
That's my
sure
day.
we got that's your day, 5% off.
Yep.
So we try to do that, and I just learned today it's National S'mores Day.
Yep,
So
yep.
might have to put some Hershey chocolate
Well,
bars on sale.
We were trying to get you to wouldn't be this right, and we couldn't figure out how
We
to
thought
put a
maybe
fire.
this is stone. We could do a
Is
little.
there something on it? That'd be
Yeah,
pretty neat.
Yep.
Anyway, Jake's with us here. Of course, you've got Save More here in town. You've also got the one in Calera.
Yeah, we got Calera and Brent locations, so all of them are Save Mores now. We run the same ad, the same portfolio in all the stores, and it's been really good late.
Is Calera doing well?
Yeah, Calera and Brent are both doing well, and then obviously once Winn-Dixie closed, Clanton's picked up a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And we've tried to add a lot of items and variety, which has been a new experience because if you ever went in the Winn-Dixie building, it was about 3 times the size of our location.
Right.
So trying to fit everything they had into our store is not an easy task.
No.
And so that's something that we've been working on. I was in Nashville last week for a food show, and I got to go to Kansas City tomorrow for another one. And
Really?
so I'm just looking for new items, we're going to put in some new refrigerated coolers to add some more specialty cheeses. Not a large variety, just enough that people can get them. Just things that they're looking for is what we've been adding. We've expanding the produce section a lot, and the meat are the two that we've really tried to push and get better.
Can people ask you, Jake, or a manager of one of your stores for an item that they are looking for or want? Can y'all help them with that, or is that?
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, when Winn-Dixie closed, I think for the first 3 weeks we added like over 400 new items.
Really?
And then last week I think I bought over 50 or 60 new items that have come out. And so we're always having to change too. You know, a lot of people are going on these GLP-1 diets and going towards more protein-based items, and so that's something we've had to add. Bluebell ice cream now has a protein pint, so you're trying to add all these different items that people want, and so it's kind of changed the way a lot of people have shopped now. And so we're always trying to do things. But if anybody requests for it, if we can get it, we'll usually put it in. And if not, some people will ask for something really odd, and I'll just tell them, like, look, I'll bring it in if you want to buy the whole case. Like, I'll
Right.
even give you a deal, but I don't think that's item's going to sell. Now, since Winn-Dixie closed, there hasn't really been an item that people have been bring in and hasn't sold for me.
Really?
It's kind of been, if someone wants it and they were buying it somewhere else, whether it's Publix, Winn-Dixie, usually
Other people want it too.
other
then
people
probably.
want it. It's a really interesting thing. So we've had to expand. Dairy's been the big one. Your yogurts, your creamers. That's kind of the area we've had to expand the most on so far. We had to add a lot of produce, but that was something we probably needed to do anyways. And our meat department's always been very, very
Your
good.
meat department's
Absolutely.
phenomenal.
And so that's something we haven't had to tweak as much. We've just been trying to find better deals for the most part. Like, we had chuck roast on sale this week for $5.99 a pound, which is probably the cheapest it's been in a long time. And this weekend coming up, we're having a 3-day sale. And we have ground beef at $3.99 a pound, which is
Wow.
cheaper than it's been lately. We're selling some 10-pound bag drumsticks for $7.50, which makes them 75 cents a pound. So
Wow.
we're trying to bring some really, really good deals. And that's what I try to tell people is when you're in the store, I know you got a list, and I know that money's a little bit more difficult for a lot of people right now.
Yep.
But really shop the store and look around, because there's a lot of items that we have out there. We have Kentucky Legend bacon on sale right now. It's 40-ounce package, and it's $7.99, which is dirt cheap for Kentucky Legend at 40
It's like
ounces.
$3 a pound.
Yeah,
How
and
do
so
you
it's,
remember all this?
I gotta
his
post.
job.
I gotta post it on social media, and it's my job. And I'm looking at prices
And he's
nonstop,
good at it, Bill.
trying to figure out, what can we do better? What items can we do? We have an app now, so we try to get people to download that, use the coupon. We're trying to get as creative as possible to save people money, because it's not easy out
No.
there right now, and so we're really trying to do a better job of finding those better deals. And like I said, if you got an item that you're looking for, we'll gladly try to add it. Might not be able to find everything, but we got a lot of stuff.
Well, with the trends like you're talking about, with all the protein coming in, I'm sure you've also had to really be creative with all the different kinds of waters and soft drinks, because they're exploding. What do you do for space in a store that's fixed? Are there also things that are now no longer popular that used to be? You can get rid of them, or you can diminish them and find more. How do you find room in a grocery store that's
So
already packed?
For us, probably the most interesting thing is we talk about center store, which is all the dry grocery items and a lot of cleaning products, paper towels, toilet paper. People are ordering it off of Amazon, grabbing it from Dollar General, Sam's Club, Walmart, where they're buying large
Costco,
items
yeah, big-
in bulk. And so those are kind of the items that we're kind of squeezing out a little bit, and probably going to a more limited variety of, hey, we're going to have this. If someone needs Dawn dish soap in our store, we're going to have it. But we're not going to have every single package of that item from small through extra large in different containers. We're going to be as basic as possible. We're going to try to have it at a competitive or a good price, but it's not something we don't want to sell it. It's just not something we're selling as much. Dog food, cat food are another items that a lot of people have gotten more particular what they feed their dog or cat. Dog food's gotten so expensive.
Yep.
Taking a large section of space for a $40 bag of dog food is not as smart as, like you said, drinks. The amount of drinks that have come out in probably the last 6 to 9 months is just crazy
It's
to me.
mind-boggling.
Everything's got to be. It used to be that you'd have Coke. Coke would have their line, and Coke and Sprite and Dr. Pepper might be Coke Zero. Well, now it's like you have root beer and root beer zero. And so now you've had to double up space for a section. And in our store where we don't have a lot of back room space and the volumes increase, it just makes it really hard to figure out, and you're guessing, how many am I going to sell of that? And do I have enough for the week? Do I buy too much? And just limiting the space of it. It's been difficult, but we've seen to figure out good ways around it of, hey, we're going to delete these sections. We're going to add items here. But that's probably the most difficult thing. And we've had a lot of customers that have seemed to be really happy. We now we got a back room in another building near our location that we're able to put all of our water pallets in that we've been having to buy. So that's freed up our frozen food aisle, which has helped greatly, because the biggest thing I hate is our customers being congested because we don't have room. It's not a choice of ours, but just giving them that freed up space. And I tell everybody, a small store can be a good and a bad thing. If you think about it, where do you want to go? Do you want to go to Walmart or Winn-Dixie or Publix? And you have to walk what seems like forever to get from the front to 3 items in the store, or in our store, like you can get to everything quick.
You can.
And so it's kind of one of those things that I was talking about someone the other day, and they were like, man, but I love how small your store is. Like they didn't take it as a bad thing. They were like, you have everything I need. And we just try to keep adding when I have conversations with people. I'm like, well, what are you looking for? What is something? The other day we were talking and someone was looking for like chopped parsley and chopped cilantro that was in a container that it was already pre-chopped. Now it's a little bit more expensive, but they were like, I don't have to take it home. It's not dried out. And so we talked about it the day before I went to Nashville. At the Nashville Food Show, I found it, and so I'll have it next week.
That's
and
neat.
so there's just a lot of things like that are interesting when you get to talking to people of what they're looking for. But the protein thing has been a really interesting thing that's been talked about now, is people are kind of buying less because they don't have money, or they're on these diets where they're buying less. And we've seen our chicken sales go through the roof lately.
Really?
One, because our prices have been very competitive on it and the prices have dropped. So, you can probably buy 3 to 4 times the amount of chicken than you can for beef. And so then, because it's so protein related, a lot of people have went to it. So it's been a really interesting experience just watching kind of the trends and trying to figure them out.
So, Jake, once you make these changes, how do you get the word out that you've done this? How do you get the word about the cilantro and the parsley, whatever it was you said?
Usually I put it all on social media, and our social media trends pretty well. That and word of mouth, just, getting more involved in the community has been a huge thing for us lately. Last week when school started, we did our 5%, not only for seniors, but for educators as well. And so just trying to keep that community relationship has been a really, really large thing for us. And I think as long as we do that, we'll keep people coming in the store. And that's the hardest thing is we had a lot of people when Dixie closed come into the store and they're like, I haven't been in here forever. It's so nice. Or we've had people that were like, I've been in Clanton for 20 years and I didn't know this was here. And I was really
Are you
shocked.
a little amazed at that? Or
Yeah.
And
Sounds pretty amazing.
It's always odd to me because I know people are going to shop at Walmart or Winn-Dixie, and people now with as many Dollar Generals are here, everybody wants a convenience factor. So, if they got to get 2 items and Dollar General is the closest store, that's where they're going to shop. And I just think with all the Dollar Generals that, but I was thinking to myself, Thanksgiving and Christmas is such a big time. Like, you never went to the store and they were out of something and you had to find another grocery store, and how did mine not end up on the list? And so that's where it's kind of like, what are we doing wrong that we don't have our name out there better? And I think in the past 2 or 3 months we've gotten a lot better at it, and the word has gotten out more, and we got a lot more good publicity going for us right this second. And we'll always have
plus you've come on Piper Beach Radio
a lot of times. So it's one of those things that we're just going to kind of try to keep building it and keep the good stuff. And there's always going to be bad too, whether it's social media or summertime's kind of the worst time because meat tends to go bad faster. And so people come into your
I hadn't
store
thought of that.
and they come into your store to shop, and they might be from Maplesville, they might be from Verbena, and it's not that far, but they get in their car at work and it's 95 degrees in it, and they got a few minute drive to the store. They get their meat, they put it in their car, then they go to the bank or somewhere else not thinking about it, and it's been in there for 20 or 30 minutes, and they get home and it's bad. Or when you think of how meat's processed, it's got to start at a processing plant and then get to a warehouse and then get to our store. And so it's in transition in multiple warehouse on multiple trucks. and we don't always know what happens to that meat.
Yeah, how well was it kept
full.
refrigerated?
Like, you know, if everything's in a perfect world, it should stay really well for us. And so that's always a process in the summer. And I just tell people, you know, we got to know about it, because as busy as Clanton's been lately, like, we're going through our meat in our coolers really fast. There's no reason our meat shouldn't be good.
Right.
And so if it's not, we need to know, because sometimes we may have got a bad batch of something and we may not know to check it. It may look fine. You really can't always smell it through the package. So I'll get 2 or 3 complaints of someone saying, hey, we got bad spare ribs. And if I get a second one, it's kind of like, hey, we got to check all these. Like, we need to really,
something
you know,
systemic.
And then because we can get credit from our warehouse on it and stuff too,
That's
and
what I was thinking.
and make them aware of it, and it's more of a protection for everybody. So
Part of your contracts with them, right?
And make sure to
Have some sort of a way
you
to
know,
address it.
don't go on social media at first. Not that I mind it, but reach out to us first. We're always going to try to make it right. That's the biggest frustration for me, is a lot of people want to take it straight to social media. I'm like, give me the opportunity to make it right, because they'll say, well, this happened to me 3 or 4 times. I'm like, come to me the first time.
Yeah,
Maybe
tell
like,
me.
You know what?
I can't fix it if I don't know it's broke.
I want to know, is my cooler's not cooling properly? What am I maybe missing that I don't know about?
Right.
So that's kind of the biggest thing. And we're not going to be perfect. I don't think anybody ever is, but we're definitely striving to get there.
Jake, with all this stuff going on, like with the lettuce scare, does that affect y'all at all? Do people stop buying iceberg lettuce? Or
I haven't really seen it. I was kind of waiting to see if that would happen. I haven't really looked exactly at the lettuce and bagged lettuce sales. But I was really expecting it to just kind of tank, like everybody be freaked out, and they really weren't as much. But one thing I've really noticed, and I don't know if it's because we're smaller, but if you look at all the recalls out there, you'll see a lot of recalls with Walmarts and the larger chains. You never really see independent grocers on there. And so I don't know if it's because we're pulling from smaller warehouses and manufacturers that they're better at controlling things, or if we just don't get, you know, on the list of them. And we get notified recalls that we got to pull stuff off the shelf, but it definitely doesn't seem to. We haven't had the meat or the produce ones that it seems like some of the other major retailers have. And so I've kind of been telling people that, like, hey, look, like, there's been a lot of recalls with these major retailers, and we haven't had them as much. You know, maybe give us a shot. Maybe start buying those products from us. Probably tomorrow we'll have one for some reason, but that's what I try to tell people is, you know, just be aware. And for the most part, you just, you know, wash your products and produce when you get home. We've tried to do a better job of anything we're cutting or prepping inside the store, just doing a better job of controlling it. But we put in a brand new produce cooler last week, speaking of space, so ours was less than probably half the size of this room we're in, and it's about double this now.
Excellent.
That's some of the stuff we're going to be working on now. Is just our floor space isn't the problem. It's kind of our back room space. Like, where do we put all this product that we're trying to sell?
Storing, right.
And so we got some ideas for it. We're working on it.
It seemed, Jake, I would say maybe 10 years ago, it really became a big push in the grocery business to try to find organic products. Maybe longer than that. I'm sure they've grown them longer than that. How does that work with your stores? Are you? I know you talk about space. It's things I've never thought about, quite frankly. But
organic's been weird because I've tried to add some of it. I've had really good luck in organic stuff in dairy. So some of the milk, some of the eggs, they've been pretty good. Organic produce has been an odd one. That's one that I've tried and it hasn't seemed to sell well. And I don't know. Like
Isn't it more expensive normally?
Yeah. It's going to be more expensive, but I think that's one. Getting the word out has been a little bit more difficult. Trying to get it on social media or getting it in the right spot. But I know I was talking to a guy the other day. He sells organic bananas and he started selling a ton of them. So that's something I think we're going to try. And that's what he said. He started with organic, and basically everybody told him, if you can sell organic bananas, you'll sell organic products. If you can't sell organic bananas, you don't need to have organic products. On chicken and stuff, we've had some. We sell some of the, I can't think of, it's got a blue Springer Mountain chicken, which is supposed to be the free range, like healthier option. All of our chickens are coming from Alabama, basically from production plants around here. I'm not as big on the whole organic thing, but that's just me. I know a lot of people are. I don't think there's as large of a difference, but meat's been the big thing lately. We've started carrying. We tried getting some Australian beef. We tried getting some Mexican beef. We had some. A lot of it was just trying to fight pricing because everybody around us was selling these products at a really cheap price, and we were trying to carry only USA, and our prices were higher. And we got into a little bit. The product wasn't as good. We had a little bit of customer backlash, so we've started to find some other sources. We went to certified Angus beef now, and we found some other sources where we've been able to get USA actually product of the United States. And so one of the problems we face is you don't technically have to put a label right now on your meat that says where it comes from. All you got to say is it's USDA inspected. And so everything that comes from overseas or from Mexico and stuff has to be USDA inspected so you can stamp it. And so a lot of consumers don't really know what you're selling. We're trying to get and that's been a really hard thing for us because we've always tried to do what's in my eyes right. And if we sell Mexican beef, we're going to put it as Mexican beef, which we've got completely out of it now. Like we're strictly on anything from the product of the United States, and I think that's helped us greatly. I think it's been better product, better quality. At the end of September, I'm going to a certified Angus beef conference in Wooster, Ohio, and so I'll get to see how everything's produced. And so I'm gonna film a bunch of videos up there for the store. Just to show how things are produced, how they work, how it goes. And, because these certified Angus beef farms are actually local farmers. So these people are local farmers all over the United States. They grow these cows just to be a quality product of certified Angus beef. So a lot of times I think people think everything coming from our stores is automatically like this corporate manufactured product. And it's actually probably more organic than most people think. Now, is it as quality as some of the really high organic? I don't really know. You probably can't convince me otherwise, but I know that there's a lot of people out there that love it.
Like with produce, isn't all produce organic?
I would think, but
So
I
what
know.
what does organic mean? Like less pesticides?
Yeah,
and-
Yeah.
a lot of it's grown I know it's like non-GMO free or all that kind of stuff. So they're not using pesticides with eggs. It's a lot of free range chickens, so they're not like in a coop. They get to wander around and stuff. And my family had chickens, and I always thought those eggs were better, and they were kind of free range. So I do think there's quality to product a lot of the time, but is it always that much better? I don't think all the time. With meat, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
You mentioned about your produce, and you've gotten this new cooler. I think you said. Do you get to? Obviously, I think you would have the authority to do it, but how? Do you buy from local farmers produce like Chilton County peaches, for example?
We tried this year. We were not able to buy as many. Usually, we buy a ton. We've usually been buying them from Mountain View Orchards in Thorsby and Jemison area, but this year we were not able to buy as much. Collards in the fall, I'll buy a ton of them. We've been getting fresh okra. And so we try to get some. I've worked with Boozer Farms too.
Yep.
I've worked with her a lot. She does a great job.
She does.
And so we try to get as much as we can, but about 5 years ago, they kind of hand tied a lot of people more because they asked that all these local farmers have $1 million in an insurance policy versus before they could bring in you might grow too many tomatoes, you can come to me and I'm going to sell them in my store. Now they're kind of, hey, you need to probably be bigger. You probably need to have this insurance policy. That way if someone gets sick in my store, it's not just coming back on me.
Right.
But we try to as much as possible. We've done a good job in the past. This year's been a little bit more difficult, and a lot of that was just the peach crop not being good.
That's right. It wasn't as good this year because of that. For that about 6 or 7 hours, it dipped below freezing there.
Yeah, so
killed all those nice buds.
That kind of stunk because that does really well for us. But collard greens will be one we'll definitely have in the fall through the holidays. We'll get that through some people in Thorsby
so
too.
even though your store is in Clanton,
Yep.
you put up Chilton County peaches. You've got a display that says, "Hey, these are Chilton County
Yep.
peaches," because I've been in stores and they California peaches.
Oh, yeah.
Michigan.
And we got some of those right now.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, there's you get what you have to
Yeah.
get. If your customer wants it. But I'm just wondering how you market those. As far as
usually
those
we
collars
always
that you buy. For
Yeah,
example.
we'll always have displays that it's marked Chilton County or local, and that's the other thing we've been trying to do with new items is just have signage that just says new, so people it catches their eye and they're saying, oh, that's new. Maybe I need to try that or I'll like it. But that's been the most interesting thing for us is just trying to market things properly to get the word out.
Well, listen, we need to take a break. Can you stick around through the break?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Excellent. Well, look, it's 7:47 here on Piper Beach Radio. We're live at the Clanton Tractor Studio, and we've got Jake Sim with us here from Save More Grocery, and we'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Looking for the perfect way to unwind, compete, and have fun with friends or family? Then Putter Up Pelham is your next destination. Whether you're a mini golf pro or just out for a good time, Putter Up offers a one-of-a-kind indoor putting experience with custom effects lighting, sounds, and robotics at each hole, plus automated scoring and a virtual caddy to guide your game. And our ADA-compliant courses include special putters for individuals using wheelchairs or walkers, so everyone can join the fun from ages 4 to 100. Rain or shine, day or night, it's always game time at Putter Up. Come for the fun, stay for the challenge. Swing by Putter Up, where every stroke counts. Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you, whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss. Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
There's a pride that comes from employing over 6,000 people in America. Welding, fabricating, assembling with local and global parts. Delivering a machine just right for you. Japanese engineering meets American ingenuity that builds on our 50-year legacy of quality, reliability, and durability that makes us the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. These aren't just machines. This is a way of life. And that's why Kubota is investing hundreds of millions right here at home. Because we won't settle on what was good enough yesterday. We're innovating with inspiration from the hard-working men and women that proudly sit on our equipment every day. So you can be sure that every one of us have you in mind when a machine or implement comes down that line. We know how hard you work. We'll do the same. This is Kubota.
It is 7:50 now, 10 minutes away from 8 o'clock. We're glad you're with us. Thanks for watching Morning Mayhem here on Piper Beach Radio as we talk about something we all have a strong interest in, our groceries. Jake here with us from Save More. And, Jake, you mentioned earlier that, we all now, my joke was I'm a lot stronger now in my 70s physically than I ever was in my 20s and 30s, because when I was 20 or 30, I couldn't lift $300 worth of groceries in two hands. And it's really expensive now in some ways and others, as we've gone through these tariffs and all this stuff, and people really are paying. When you've got a lot of disposable income, you don't worry too much. You just go buy what you want. Now people are kind of paying more attention. That's got to be difficult for you as a grocer, because you still want the variety. You still have to have the product. A lot of what you sell will die or wear out quick. How do you deal with that with the trends? And like you were saying, you're doing all these things to try to give the people the best value for, say, cuts of beef and meat, which is more expensive than the chicken or what they had to pay a year ago or whatever. How do you do that?
You have to have really good employees. That's the first thing. We have very good staffs in our stores, but that's the biggest thing with perishable departments is produce to me is probably the most difficult because meat usually in a lot of our stores sells fast enough and you're putting, must say, smaller amounts out. But in produce, you have so much, especially in Clanton now, we have so much variety in that store. And you get one bad box of lettuce, and it's instantly like, hey, people look at it and they're like, hey, that doesn't look very good. And their immediate thought is the rest of the produce department isn't good. So you're always trying to worry more. You're probably pulling a lot more items that are on the better side than the worse side just to make sure that your department is always looking fresh and is fresh. I mean, no one wants to buy a bag of shredded lettuce and get home and go to dump it out and it's brown on the bottom. So doing all that is really harder.
Which, by the way, is frustrating because just because it's a little brown doesn't mean it's bad.
Correct.
It just oxidizes, and that can happen and be still very edible and fine.
Meat is one of those things that's the most difficult. Ground beef is one of the hardest. So when they pack those packages of ground beef together, all of that does oxidize. So you're taking all the oxygen out of it. So a lot of times you get home, you open up that package, and if it's been on our case for a day or two, it's still good. But when you open it up and you break that, it's like it's this brown color, and people will be like, "It's bad." I'm like, "It's not bad. If it was bad, they wouldn't do dry aged beef and stuff. Like, have you ever been in one of those things that it's hanging there and it's all moldy and they're like,
oh yeah.
So it's not same thing. If we don't do it anymore with our steaks, but a lot of stores will put a steak on top of a steak, so it's kind of layered. Well, then you'll open it up and you'll peel that top steak off, and then the bottom one will have that same color. Like it will be like, and people are like, it's bad. I'm like, it's not bad. It was just sitting on top of it. So that stuff we've tried to figure out ways to. How can we put this in our case better so we don't run into our issues? How can we
it's also an educational purpose too,
don't pack the ground beef so tight that it's going to make that brown on the inside. So it's just all about what you do inside the store. But the perishable department produce has probably been the most difficult. That, and we've added a lot of what we call thaw and serve, which is your items of donuts and cakes and all that kind of stuff. And that's another perishable item that it's coming in frozen to us. We're bringing it out. We're putting it out there. You have
once it thaws out,
you got 7 to 10 days on it, and you got to hope you sell it. So then it's figuring out, okay, what are our best sellers? Can we delete some of the smaller things to not affect? And sometimes you just know that, hey, that one I'm going to throw half a case away. Every single time. It's depressing. You don't want to do it, but you have that many customers that like it, and if they got to go get one thing at another store, they might go get all their other stuff at another store.
That's right.
Jake, can you text me the day that you throw the old cakes in the dumpster? Because I'll come dumpster dive.
That's why we got locks on it. You're the reason we got locks on our dumpsters now.
I wondered what you put the lock on that thing for.
So
the other with produce being so perishable, the thing is, now I've noticed, just like you're talking about with the waters and other things, man, there used to just be like, potatoes, onions. There was a staple of maybe 10 or 12 things in a produce department. Now there's exotic fruits and so many bok choy and stuff from all over the world. And also, I've noticed in the old days, you didn't see a watermelon in a grocery store until June, and then you might see them as late as September. Now there's watermelon all year long.
And that's been one of the interesting things too. We've added a lot of Hispanic produce that's done really well. But yeah, there's so many weird things.
Cactus.
We sell a lot of cactus. And so one thing was interesting is every time I go to the food show, they'll have this big produce thing of the oddest items you've ever seen. And some of them are gigantic. And you're like, what do you do with this item? Do people actually buy this? And those are kind of the odd things. But some of it we started carrying, like these grapes we got the other day. They're called Candy Heart grapes. And we started carrying them. And they're literally like, they taste like a piece of candy. It's the sweetest grape that you can have.
Cotton candy or something.
So we got, trying to do those things seem to sell well, some of the odder items. And the number one thing I've been asked for lately and it's just probably not going to be ever possible. Is a lot of people have wanted fresh seafood in our store,
Right.
and the biggest thing about it is if you go to Publix or you go to most of these stores in Alabama or northern Tennessee, unfortunately their seafood is not fresh. I know they got a fresh seafood case, but it is coming in frozen, and they're
it's
thawing it
fall.
out and they're putting it out in the case. And I think a lot of people think, well, it's fresh. I'm like, it didn't get here
No,
fresh.
it did not come from the Gulf. It wasn't in the water a week ago.
Yeah, it did not fly in an airplane yesterday. But what we've started to do is we've started to get some smaller pieces of fish that are vacuum sealed. We've got a bunch of different varieties of salmon, and so one thing we are going to start doing is working with a company called Inland Seafood. That we will probably get some salmon, some tilapia, a few of the items that we think are going to sell better, and we'll trade up just like our fresh meat.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not going to have a seafood department per se. We're probably never really going to get in the shrimp and the crab legs and everything like that. We'll keep it frozen. We have Gulf shrimp. It's just frozen, but we are going to get to some of those more fresh fish categories that people would cook for dinner on a regular basis, tray them up, and the other thing is that way it doesn't smell.
Yeah,
If it's straight up like
exactly.
that and we're selling it, it's not in the open air. It doesn't. You don't walk in
I
and be
have
like,
noticed.
"Hey, this does not smell very nice."
Yeah.
You go to like a
Exactly.
Publix,
So true.
you get back toward the seafood and you smell it, and it's seafoody. Sometimes it's not very pleasant.
It
It
just
actually
depends.
smells like old fish.
I don't have it very often in Publix. Publix does a very good job.
Yeah, they do.
Of
I
that.
love Publix,
I call it scenting your store, like where you're at. They're very good of it having a quality smell. But you go in some of the smaller stores
Right.
that they don't sell as much, or maybe they don't clean it as well. It can smell really bad really quick, and that's what
Right.
everybody's told me when I've talked to people is. Go for it, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to be the worst decision you make, because when you start doing it, if that smell gets bad, it instantly is bad on the store.
Right.
And we get random things like the other day, someone dropped some apple cider vinegar, and it gave kind of this little rancid smell in the store for a little bit. And the amount of customers are like, "What smells so bad over here?" And it's right by the produce section too. So you're like, "This is not fun." Watermelons are another thing. If they break on the bottom of a bin,
Oh, yeah.
and sit there a day, they smell terrible.
They do.
And so, if you only have that one day out of the week for a couple hours, it's okay. But if every day people are walking into your store with that seafood smell, and it's not a good seafood smell, it's hard to make quality out of it. So we're looking for options that, hey, this is a good option for us that we can do and think we can be successful with. But same thing, it's not so perishable. We don't want to go out there and try too much, and then we're actually hurting ourselves. The ultimate goal is not to throw away food.
Yeah.
You don't want to throw away food. There's people out there starving. We don't need to be throwing it away. And so a lot of times we're using it we're donating it. We use a company called Grace Klein. They're out of Birmingham. We've donated to local churches before. So we're always trying to find a way
To not waste
to not waste food. Really, the only thing that ever goes to waste, if it is chicken. And that's just because if it starts to go bad, you don't want to feed someone bad chicken.
Yeah.
Anything else that, if it gets even red meat, if it's one day past where we want to sell it, a lot of times we'll freeze it and we'll donate it to food banks or whatever, and they'll be able to give it away. So we're always trying to find ways to do that. But perishables is probably the most difficult thing that we deal with on a regular basis, to, like you said, produce, and then this whole seafood thing now, because it's short time spans. When we get into the specialty cheeses have like 9 to 10 months on them. So
Yeah.
you can bring
Oh,
them
yeah,
in and you're kind of
exactly.
good. But on seafood, you got probably 3 to 4 days. And so
that,
you gotta
yeah.
you gotta be moving it. And so we'll try it on the weekends and stuff to start with. But everything people are bringing to us, we're really trying to see if we can make it happen.
Well, so many of the places you buy fresh seafood, if you look, it'll say previously frozen.
Yeah.
It's not fresh.
And that's and a lot of things now we've been trying to. It's the same thing. I had a few people from Winn-Dixie shoppers that were like, "Hey, we really want you to get Gulf shrimp in." And I was like, "I think we have Gulf shrimp." And then I started looking, and everything in the shrimp category is pretty much product of Indonesia.
Really?
Like everything in there. And so I was like, "All right, that's interesting." And then so
Different Gulf.
different Gulf. And so now we've we found a few companies that we have a whole little section of a little island case that's all Gulf shrimp. That
Oh,
just
really?
Straight,
That's neat.
Yeah, straight from there. So, and we've been selling a lot of it. So people seem to like that. I guess they think it tastes better. I don't really know.
Well, that's obviously one of the advantages of coming to a store like yours. A little smaller, like
Yeah.
you said. You get that, not only that
Personal
hometown
service.
personal service, exactly, but you can speak to Jake and say,
Yeah.
hey, Jake, why don't we try this or why don't you try that? And you might actually do it.
And it's a lot of it I've been surprised at. This Horizon organic milk was the one that I thought was the most interesting. That someone asked me to bring in. It was right after Winn-Dixie closed, and I was like, golly. And I told her, I said, this is like $6.99 a half gallon. She goes, it's fine. I said, okay. I bring it in, and the first day we had it, we sold an entire case of it. It was like
Really?
9 or 12 units, and I was like, all right, interesting. And it's been a really good seller for us now. And so
We buy that.
it was a really interesting item because a lot of people that shopped in our store, we had to deal with a lot of price battling for a long time. Once we started getting these other shoppers, it was more so not worried as much about the price and a lot more concerned with having all the products they wanted. They didn't want to go to 3 to 4 different stores. And so, now we're trying to find all the items we can, and we're trying to find the value of all those items. And we got a huge 3-day sale coming this weekend. We got a truckload sale coming the last weekend of August, and then we'll have a huge Labor Day sale. So we got three good weekends in the next 4 that you should be able to find some really good deals in the store if you want to stop in.
Well, we're about out of time. It's a great way to wrap it up because it sounds great for the rest of the month of August. You're going to be offering a lot of great deals, especially with kids getting back in school. Things change between summer and then the school time because lunches have to be made sometimes ahead of time. You do a lot. Your eating becomes different. You don't maybe eat out as much. You cook more at home. So this is a great time to be shopping at Save More. We sure thank you. Every time you come on, I learn so much more about the grocery business. As much as I love, cooking and eating, and I love, I'm one of those people that love grocery shopping. I love to shop, but I've learned so much from you, Jake. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
All right, it's 8:03. We're going to sign off now here on Piper Peach Radio. You've been watching the Morning Mayhem with Dollar Bill, Mike, and Taylor, and our guest, Jake. Thanks again, Jake,
Taylor
for being
went to
here.
the store to get Samoas.
Well, you guys have a great rest of your Monday, and we will be back on the air at 6 a.m. in the morning. We'll look